The file appeared in my inbox at 3:27 a.m. No sender information, just a subject line, "Watch alone." The attachment, a video file named YouNeedThis.mp4. I remember checking the timestamp twice, wondering who would send something at such an hour. The rational part of my brain screamed to delete it immediately, likely malware or some twisted prank. But I've always suffered from an insatiable curiosity, the kind that leads people into places they shouldn't go. I should have been sleeping. My dissertation deadline loomed just days away, and exhaustion had settled deep in my bones after 18 straight hours of research. Perhaps that's why my judgment faltered. Or perhaps whatever sent that file knew exactly when I'd be most vulnerable. I clicked play. The footage began with 30 seconds of pure blackness. I almost closed it, assuming it was corrupted, when a faint sound emerged, something between a whisper and static, gradually increasing in volume. The screen flickered to life with imagery so grainy and distorted, it was nearly impossible to discern what I was seeing. It appeared to be someone's basement, filmed on outdated equipment, the kind of low-resolution nightmare that reminded me of those found-footage horror films popular in the early 2000s. A figure stood in the center of the frame, their face obscured by digital distortion that seemed intentional rather than a product of poor recording quality. They wore what looked like a dark hoodie, remaining completely motionless for nearly a minute. When they finally moved, it was with an unnatural jerkiness, as if someone had removed frames from the sequence. The audio buzzed with static that seemed to pulse in perfect rhythm with my heartbeat. I remember placing my hand over my chest to confirm this impossible synchronization. The figure began to speak, their voice bypassing my ears somehow, resonating directly inside my skull. "The chain remains unbroken since 1998. You are now part of it. 7 days of knowing, 7 nights of waiting. The burden transfers only through willing eyes." What followed was a montage of imagery that made less and less logical sense. Abandoned hospital corridors, close-ups of human eyes with unnaturally dilated pupils, inverted crosses, pages from ancient texts in languages I couldn't identify, and coordinates flashing too quickly to write down. Interspersed were frames of the hooded figure, appearing closer to the camera each time, though I never saw them move forward. The final minute showed a series of seemingly random people going about ordinary activities. A woman checking her mailbox, a man waiting for a bus, a teenager scrolling through their phone, all being watched from a distance. In each shot, the subject suddenly froze and turned directly toward the camera with expressions of pure terror. The video lasted exactly 7 minutes and 13 seconds. When it ended, my screen went black, then displayed a simple message: "The chain continues through you." My phone rang immediately. Not my smartphone on the desk, but my old landline I keep for emergencies, the one whose number only my parents and closest friends possess. "Did you see it?" a voice whispered, distorted in the same way as the figure in the video. Before I could answer, the call disconnected. I sat in perfect stillness for what might have been minutes or hours, my dissertation forgotten, my mind racing to rationalize what I'd experienced. I convinced myself it was an elaborate prank, perhaps targeted at sleep-deprived graduate students. I deleted the email, emptied my trash folder, ran a virus scan that found nothing, and finally crawled into bed as dawn broke. That was 3 days ago. The first anomaly appeared the following morning. Every digital clock in my apartment displayed 3:27, regardless of what time it actually was. My computer clock, microwave, even my supposedly accurate atomic bedside clock, all frozen at the exact time I'd received the email. I reset them, but within hours they'd all reverted. Then came the figure. I first noticed them on my walk to campus, a hooded silhouette standing motionless across the street from my apartment building. When I crossed to investigate, they were gone, but I felt watched the entire day. They've appeared every day since, always at the periphery of my vision, always motionless, always gone when I try to approach. My electronics malfunction constantly now. Calls drop the moment I hear breathing on the other end. Text messages I send arrive corrupted, filled with characters I never typed. My dissertation draft has been repeatedly altered, random paragraphs replaced with the same phrase. The chain remains unbroken. Last night brought the worst development. I woke at what my broken clock said was 3:27, feeling an overwhelming sense of being observed. In the darkest corner of my bedroom stood the figure from the video, no longer confined to digital space. They remained perfectly still as I fumbled for the light switch. When illumination finally flooded the room, they were gone, if they were ever there at all. Sleep has become impossible. Food tastes like ash. I've stopped attending classes, stopped responding to concerned messages from my advisor. Instead, I've spent hours researching similar experiences online, finding scattered accounts dating back to the early internet days, all describing the same video, the same figure, the same pattern of escalating phenomena. The oldest account I found, from a now defunct GeoCities page archived in 1998, ended with a simple update posted by the user's friend. Jake hasn't been seen in 7 days. Police found his apartment empty except for his computer, which was displaying a video ready to send to multiple contacts. That's when I realized the true mechanism of the curse. It doesn't just harm the viewer, it compels them to spread it. I've caught myself multiple times with email drafts open, the video attached, recipient fields filled with friends' addresses, with no memory of preparing to send it. I've written this account as a warning. Delete unexpected files. Don't watch what you're told to watch. Break the chain that has remained unbroken for decades. But even as I type these cautionary words, I feel a presence behind me, breath cold on my neck. And I wonder, is my warning genuine? Or am I simply finding a more convincing way to make you curious? Perhaps you're already wondering what was in that video. Perhaps you'd watch it too, given the chance. And that's exactly how it spreads. 7 days, that's what the video promised. Tomorrow marks day 4, and I don't believe I'll see day 8. If you receive an email at 3:27 a.m., delete it without opening. Some chains are meant to be broken.